Okay, so a few weeks ago, I went looking at a channel that's been putting out videos like breaking Trump arrest warrant signed, 14 million seized, judge finds Trump in contempt, big numbers, official sounding language, courtroom drama, millions of combined views. None of it happened, not exaggerated, not spun, invented. Fake judges, fake case numbers, fake page citations from fake court filings. And when you put three of these videos side by side, they don't even agree with each other. One has Trump arrested Thursday night. Another has him free until a deadline the following Monday. A third has his money frozen in a completely different case. Three different fictional universes, same channel, same week. So I want to do something a little different today. Instead of just saying, this is fake, don't believe it, which, yes, it's fake, don't believe it, I want to show you exactly how it's built. Because once you see the formula, you'll start recognizing it everywhere, on dozens of channels, about dozens of people, not just one politician. This isn't one bad actor, it's a production method. And I think understanding the method is more useful than debunking any single video, because next week there'll be a new title and the same skeleton underneath. Let's get into it. This is not a new problem, and it's bigger than one channel. Quick context before we dissect the format. Fake Trump-arrested content has been circulating for a few years now, actually. Back in 2023, AI-generated images claiming to show Trump's arrest went viral before any indictment even happened. The creator later said he made them for fun, but plenty of people shared them like they were real news photos. That was images. What we're looking at now is a full step up. Entire scripted, narrated, chaptered videos that mimic the structure of investigative journalism. And it's not limited to one person. Fact-checkers at Snopes documented deepfake videos using a cloned voice and likeness of the columnist George Will, supposedly reacting to Trump and Supreme Court news, commentary he never actually gave, on TV or anywhere else, according to his own social accounts and column archive. Different channel, different target, same shape, official-sounding claims, a real public figure's face, a totally fabricated 72-hour deadline and jail time rumor stitched into the narration. There's also a well-documented case from earlier this year of a pro-Iran media operation pumping out Lego animation videos mocking Trump. Those got hundreds of millions of views before YouTube suspended the channel for deceptive practices. Different style, different politics, same underlying idea. Real public figure, synthetic content designed to spread fast. And just this week, actually, police in Korea referred a YouTuber to prosecutors for a smaller scale version of exactly this, using generative AI to manufacture fake stories about social issues and collecting donations off the back of it. So this isn't a one-off, it's a genre. And genres have formulas. Let's open the hood. Manufacturing instant authority. Every one of these videos opens the same way, and it's worth slowing down on why it works. First line is always a huge, specific-sounding claim. A dollar figure, a number of violations, an arrest warrant. Never vague. Vague doesn't grab you. Trump in trouble, you scroll past that. 4.7 million in contempt penalties, 11 violations, arrest warrant. That stops your thumb because specificity reads as verified. Our brains use precision as a shortcut for truth. A round, exact-looking number feels like someone measured something, even when nobody did. Second move, within the first 30 seconds, some version of, I've been going through the transcripts, or official filing obtained Friday morning. Notice what that sentence is doing. It's not citing a source you can check. No case number, no court, no link. It's citing the narrator's own diligence. I read it, so it's real, is doing all the evidentiary work here. That's a rhetorical sleight of hand, not a source. Not speculation, court record, said directly to you, unprompted. When something has to keep insisting it isn't speculation, that's worth noticing, not dismissing. Real reporting usually just shows you the document instead of promising you it exists. If you strip out the specific numbers, this opening template works for literally any target, any topic. That's the tell. A real breaking news report is built around a specific, checkable fact. This opening is built around a feeling of specificity, which is a different and much cheaper thing to manufacture. The fake paper trail. This is the part I actually find the most interesting, because it's the most deliberate piece of craftsmanship in the whole formula. Every revelation gets attached to a page number. Page 23, page 47, paragraph 12. Exhibit M, page 67. It sounds like meticulous research. It is not researchable at all. There's no docket number, no court name you can search, no link to a real filing. It's page numbers from a document that doesn't exist, presented with the confidence of someone reading off a real one. Then comes a quote. Always short, always dramatic, always unattributed to any real, verifiable source. Phrases like, "This court will not be treated as optional," or "We give them what doesn't matter, we hold what does." These sound like things a judge or a leaked recording would say. They're written to sound quotable, which is the opposite of how real leaked material usually reads. Real transcripts are messy, full of and crosstalk and procedural language, not clean, punchy one-liners built for a highlight reel. And here's the tell that convinced me this is templated rather than reported. The exact same rhetorical move, cite a page, drop a short dramatic quote, say that's not my take, that's the filing. Repeats almost word for word across videos that are supposedly about completely different cases, different judges, different charges. Real investigative reporting varies with the story. A template doesn't. The real-sounding expert parade. Every one of these videos rolls out a cast of experts. A former federal prosecutor, a Georgetown law professor, a defense attorney with a recognizable name, each giving a short, clean soundbite that happens to confirm the story so far. A few things about this pattern. One, the quotes are frictionless. Every expert basically agrees, in slightly different words, right on cue. Real expert commentary is messier. Legal analysts hedge, disagree with each other, want more information before committing to a take. When 5 different experts all land on the same tidy conclusion in the same clean sentence structure, that's a script writing all their dialogue, not 5 independent people being interviewed. 2. Real names get borrowed for fictional quotes. That's the part that matters most and is genuinely worth flagging on its own. Attaching invented commentary to an actual named professor or attorney is a step beyond "this event didn't happen." It's putting words in a specific real person's mouth that they never said. That's a separate and serious problem from the fabricated case itself. 3, and this is a clever move worth naming, the videos include a whole section where they generously present the other side's argument, legal complications, privilege concerns, disclosure issues, and sound very fair-minded doing it. I'm not here to tell you who's right. That section exists to make the whole video feel balanced and credible, which then makes you trust the fabricated parts more, not less. Manufactured balance around a fabricated core doesn't make the core real. It just makes the fabrication more convincing. The minute-by-minute courtroom reenactment. There's always a section that drops into present tense, almost screenplay-style dialogue. Judge entered the courtroom, no preliminary remarks. Mr. Brennan, your client submitted Exhibit J14 to a lender in Phoenix on May 8th, correct? Room went quiet. This is the most novelistic part of the format, and it's worth asking yourself a simple question when you hit a section like this. How would the narrator possibly know this level of blow-by-blow detail in dialogue form unless they were personally in a sealed or non-public hearing? Courtrooms don't live stream in most of these described scenarios. Nobody handed a stranger with a YouTube channel a verbatim transcript overnight. This is dramatized fiction wearing the clothes of eyewitness reporting, and it's the single easiest section to spot once you know to look for it, because it reads like a courtroom drama script, because that's what it is. The retention machinery. Now let's talk about why these videos are 20+ minutes long, because that's not an accident either. It's an engagement strategy layered on top of the fabrication. There's a mid-video CTA, almost always the same phrasing. Subscribe, I'm not done. This story's got layers. That's placed right after the first shocking reveal, at the exact moment your attention might drop off, to rehook you before the algorithm registers a drop-off. There's a personal finance stakes section in the back half. If you have retirement savings, if you're in a lawsuit, here's what this means for you. That has nothing to do with whether the event actually happened, but makes the story feel personally relevant, which keeps you watching. There's a forward-looking list of invented upcoming hearings and deadlines at the end, which does two jobs. It creates a reason for you to come back for the update, and it creates a false impression that the story is ongoing and verifiable, because it has specific future dates attached to it. Specific future dates feel falsifiable, which paradoxically makes people trust the past claims more, even though nothing about a date being specific makes the underlying story true. And the sign-off is nearly identical across videos. Story's not over, still developing. That's what this channel does. It's a brand tagline, repeated verbatim, which is a very normal thing for a real channel to do too, except here it's stapled onto a different fictional case each time. Why this format works so well, and why it's spreading. I want to be fair to the mechanics here, because none of this is stupid. It's actually a pretty sophisticated exploitation of a few real things about how people process information and how platforms rank content. Specific numbers and page citations trigger a "this has been verified" feeling without any actual verification occurring. Manufactured both sides sections trigger a "this seems balanced and fair" feeling. Present tense dialogue triggers the same narrative immersion response a novel or true crime documentary does. You're not fact-checking a story while you're inside it. And the mid-roll retention hooks are just good audience retention craft, borrowed from completely legitimate long-form YouTube storytelling and repurposed here. It's also frankly cheap to produce at scale. A large language model can generate a plausible-sounding legal drama script for any headline you feed it in minutes. That's part of why YouTube has been actively cracking down on what it calls AI slop. In a policy update this year, the platform pulled more than a dozen large channels, representing billions of views and real ad revenue, specifically for mass-generated, repeatable, low human input content. YouTube's now doing likeness detection scanning too, specifically because deep-faked commentary attributed to real journalists and public figures has become common enough to need its own tool. And they've said they're expanding that protection specifically to public officials and journalists, because impersonation risk is highest for people in the public conversation. So this is a known, named problem the platform is actively trying to fight. Not some fringe thing only a few of us are noticing. How to actually spot it. Fast. Here's the checklist I'd actually use, in the order I'd apply it, if a video like this landed in my feed. 1. Can you find the primary source in 30 seconds? A real court order, a real docket number, is public record. If a video says official filing and gives you a page number, but no case number, no court name, no link, that's not a citation, that's set dressing. 2. Does the story hold up against other coverage? If something this dramatic were real, a former president's arrest warrant, a multi-million-dollar asset seizure, it would be everywhere, from wire services to local news to the court's own public docket. If you can only find it on channels using this exact narration style, that's your answer. 3. Do the expert quotes exist anywhere else? Search the named person plus a few words of the quote. If a real professor or attorney said something this quotable about a major case, it'll show up in an actual outlet somewhere. If it only exists inside the video, be very skeptical that it was ever said. 4. Does the internal timeline actually add up? These videos often contradict themselves or even contradict earlier videos from the same channel. Different judges, different deadlines, dates that don't reconcile. Real reporting on an ongoing case stays consistent because it's tracking one real set of facts. Fiction drifts because there's nothing anchoring it. 5. Is there a repeated brand phrase that shows up verbatim in unrelated stories? That's not my take, that's the filing. When both sides agree, pay attention. If you've heard the exact same line in a video about a completely different case, that's a script template talking, not a reporter. Why this matters beyond one channel or one public figure. I want to end on the actual stakes here because it's easy to watch one debunked video and feel like the problem is contained. It isn't. The genre isn't attached to one politician. It's attached to whatever headline gets clicks. The same production method that fabricates a Trump arrest could just as easily fabricate a story about a CEO, a judge, your local school board, or eventually, a private individual with no public platform to correct the record. Once the formula exists and it's this cheap to run, the target is just whatever's trending. And the fact that named, real professionals, sitting law professors, former prosecutors, are having invented quotes put in their mouths is its own harm, separate from the fake case itself. Their actual professional reputations are being used, without consent, to sell a fictional story as credible. The uncomfortable part, none of this requires malice from the viewer. You don't have to be gullible to get taken in by a script engineered this precisely. The manufactured balance, the fake page citations, the borrowed real names, those are specifically designed to get past a reasonably careful person's normal skepticism. That's not a personal failing, it's a competent adversarial design, and the only real defense is knowing the shape of it in advance, the way we're doing right now. So next time one of these lands in your feed, whoever it's about, you've now got the actual checklist. Primary source in 30 seconds. Cross-check the coverage, search the expert quote, check if the timeline holds together. Listen for the recycled brand line. If it fails more than one of those, you already know what you're looking at. That's the breakdown. Not a rant about one channel, a look at how the whole format is built, because it'll keep showing up under new titles. If you want, drop a video in the comments you're not sure about, and I'll walk through it the same way. See you in the next one.